Okay. Greetings and a warm welcome to all the dignitaries present here. I'm Shwastika from Team Clarinet, serving as the allocation assistant to ensure a seamless experience. Clarinet proudly stands as India's most relied upon digital platform, offering a multitude of imaging services exclusively for doctors. It is with great pride that Clarinet serves as a digital partner for this event hosted by Association of Physicians of India West Bengal. And the focus of today's session is ICTD 2025. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Shambo sir to proceed with the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Clarnet, for being the digital partner of this event. So, myself, Dr. Shambo Samajdar. Currently, I am the Secretary of Physician Research Foundation, West Bengal branch, under the aegis of Association of Physicians of India, West Bengal branch, and Secretary Clinical of Indian Pharmacological Society. So, this International Clinical Trial Day, we are organizing and we are celebrating the theme Rethinking Clinical Trials Inclusivity in Practice. So, respected dignitaries, distinguished speakers, panelists, researchers, and dear colleagues. Today, on International Clinical Trials Day 2025, we gather not only to reflect, but to recommit ourselves to the very soul of medical science, ethical, inclusive, and evidence-based research. It was this very date in 1747 that James Lynn, who is a naval surgeon, conducted what is widely regarded as the first controlled clinical trial aboard HMS Salisbury. Tasked with combating the deadly scourge of scurvy, he selected 12 sailors, divided them into 6 groups, and administered different treatments. The group that received oranges and lemons recovered remarkably, thereby birthing not just a cure, but an approach, clinical reasoning guided by experimentation. Nearly 3 centuries later, we continue that voyage, navigating complex diseases, diverse populations, and evolving technologies. But the compass remained the same: scientific integrity guided by human compassion. In the words of Swami Vivekananda, work for work's sake, not for name or fame. Today, more than ever, we must see research as karma yoga, performed not for accolade or authorships, but for the betterment of humanity. Every consent taken, every protocol followed, and every participant respected in an act of seva, that is the service. This year's theme, Rethinking Clinical Trials Inclusivity in Practice, reminds us the science must be democratic, that the elderly, the underrepresented, the rural, and the unheard must be seen, heard, and studied. True inclusivity in trials is not a luxury, it is a moral imperative. This program, thoughtfully curated with sessions on regenerative research, artificial intelligence-driven trial design, device regulation, infectious disease, and geriatric ethics, brings together India's most accomplished minds from academia, industry, policy, and clinical practice. Our heartfelt thanks to Professor Jyotirmoy Pal, President of Association of Physicians of India, Dr. Nandini Kumar, President of FERCI, Dr. Babul Bezbaruah, President of Indian Pharmacological Society, Professor Santanu Tripathi, President of Association of Clinical Pharmacologists, all our esteemed speakers and panelists joining us today from India and abroad. So before we start today's journey, please allow me to share a personal aspiration, one rooted in conviction and hope. As we rethink our scientific infrastructure, it is my humble dream to see the emergence of a centralized, autonomous, and ethical sound regulatory body for therapeutics. Name could be Bharat, Bharat's Regulatory Authority for Therapeutics and Health Products. Not just an acronym, Bharat represents a vision where India leads not only in the manufacturing of medicine, but in regulating them with wisdom, transparency, and compassion. A regulator that speaks the language of equity, ethics, and scientific pride, true to the spirit of Bharat. Let each of us, as Swamiji said, be great in our place, whether at the bedside, the bench, or the ethics board. Let this event ignite thoughtful dialogue, compassionate research, and lasting reform. With deep gratitude and on behalf of the organizing committee, I welcome you all to the International Clinical Trials Day 2025. Let us begin this journey from the data to dignity, from trials to trust. So it is our real honor now to invite Professor Jyotirmoy Pal, President of Association of Physicians of India, for his welcome address. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Samajdar, Professor Partha Sarkar, Professor Uttam Pal, Professor Santanu Tripathi, Professor Nandini Kumar for taking initiative on International Clinical Trial Day for such a beautiful webinar. Research is the key factor for the development of a civilization. At the beginning of the mankind, of our civilization, it was basically observation based. So diagnosis of diabetes was based on whether the urine is attracted by the ants. So this is the observational power, and on that basis, our science developed. But later on, the modern medicine developed. Basically, it speed up after the French Renaissance. French Renaissance give us a thought that all the knowledge should be based on rationality, based on the evidence. So gradually, we enter in the era of modern medicine. That means there should be some evidence, there should be some scientific basis. So from that particular type of thought, the clinical trial, the concept of clinical trial developed. First clinical trial was conducted in 1940, but that time there is no regulation. So there happen basically now when you want to develop some medicine or some some investigation, human will be the volunteer. But there was no regulation. So unethically, so many people, particularly from the poor countries, from the colonial world, was used as a volunteer. So later on, the Helsinki Declaration make us that the research should be on an ethical basis. And with the in the last 100 years, with the advent of the different clinical trials, so many drugs has been discovered, and we got a new life. So in India, we are ahead in different all aspects in technology, in warfare, in space technology, in pharmaceutical, but still we are lacking in the clinical research. So clinical research, that is why API, our organization, is giving due importance, particularly the awareness. The one day, if I think I will be the researcher, you cannot be. So first you have to develop the research awareness, and you have to learn the research methodology. Then only you can do the actual research. Whatever the research India we do, many research, many our works is rejected by the international community because of the poor methodology. That is why we always are giving importance at the college level, at the students level. Our organization, and we request the colleges, also medical colleges, to conduct repeated courses of the research methodology. If the methodology is okay, then the awareness, then our physician can keep the records, whatever they are practicing in their hospital, in their clinics, and on the based on this data, The time will come when India will make its own guidelines. Till now, we are making our guideline with hypertension, diabetes based on the Western data. But ideally, if ethnic population genetically is different, so we have to make our guideline based on our data. So that is why we need the research awareness. I am very sure such type of workshop, webinar, if happen repeatedly, will increase the research awareness. Along with this, the research methodology, GCP training. So India will enter in an era where the India will be ahead even in clinical research compared to the Western countries. Thank you. With these small words, I wish all success of today's program. Thank you. Over to Dr. Shambo Samajdar.
Thank you very much, Professor Jyotirmoy Pal, sir. Actually, it is your brainchild so that we have our Physician Research Foundation West Bengal branch. And now, may I now request respected President of Indian Pharmacological Society, Professor B.K. Bezbaruah, sir. Professor Babul Bezbaruah, sir, currently the President at AIMS, Guwahati. So we are really delighted to have Professor Bezbaruah, sir, the President of IPS. So, sir, your welcome address, please. Sir, you have to unmute, sir.
Okay, thank you, Sambhu. It's a nice gesture from the part of IPS, and and especially thanks goes to you for organizing this type of webinar come seminar on clinical trial. As a clinical trial week, you are going to observe, and on behalf of IPS, I congratulate whole team, including you, and hopefully it will be a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Bezbaruah, sir. Now, may I request Dr. Nandini Kumar, madam. Madam is President of FERCI, Forum of Ethics Review Committee of India. So, welcome, madam. I request your valuable address during our inauguration ceremony.
Thank you very much, Dr. Samrat, for inviting me to this celebration of the Clinical Trials Day this year. The theme being innovations and integrity in clinical trials. Every year we have some themes. So this is in keeping with the developments that are happening in the clinical trial area. So on behalf of the Forum for Ethics Review Committees in India, I wish this program great success, and I'm sure that people will benefit from listening to all the talks that have been arranged for this celebration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your kind blessings. And now it is our real honor to have with us Professor Partha Sarkar. Professor Partha Sarkar, currently the chairman of Association of Physicians of India, West Bengal branch. We are really delighted to have with us Professor Sarkar. Sir, can you please tell us about your views on this day?
Thank you, Shambo. I am extremely delighted that our West Bengal API branch, the PRF of West Bengal chapter is arranging in collaboration of the Indian Pharmacological Society and Clinical Pharmacology Association such a nice program observing the international clinical trials day in a befitting manner. I welcome all the dignitaries who will be faculties, who will be talking on the subject from 2 to 7. And I think everybody, the listeners, will be very much benefited. As India is lagging behind in all field of research, I think so. So this will go a long way for the future enrichment in the field of clinical trials. And I wish the program is a grand success and hope if a few of us will get stimulated by all these lectures and will soak in research work, that will be the success story of this PRF of West Bengal branch in collaboration with IPS. Thank you, Shambo. Thank you. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you, Professor Sarkar, for your kind words. Now, it is our real honor to have with us our Chairman of Physicians Research Foundation, West Bengal branch, Professor Uttam Pal. Sir, Professor Uttam Pal, we know him, a very vivid researcher. Along with, currently, sir is the Professor of Internal Medicine at Kishanganj Medical College. So, sir, please.
Thank you, Shambo. Thank you for calling me, giving this opportunity to joining today. All the respected faculties, welcome to this International Clinical Trial Day 2025. Today, we are celebrating our work to make medicine better and help patients everywhere. I believe service to man is service to God. I welcome all, and I want this program will be very successful. As the chairman of Physician Research Foundation, we thank you for the hard work and for caring so much about patient. I wish you all a great and meaningful session. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Pal, for your kind words. And I think there is one small changes in the sequence because we have to match with the US time. We have a prolific speaker from US, Washington University. So Professor Shobbosha Chishen. So we had exchanged his session with our own ICMR scientist, Professor Aparna Mukherjee. So the first session from 2:30 p.m. So we will start our academic session from 2:30 p.m. It will be on clinical trials in infectious disease and public health priorities, which will be delivered by Dr. Aparna Mukherjee. And during 4:30 to 4:50 p.m., the lecture will be delivered by Dr. Shobbosha Chishen on that stem cells, endothelium, and CVD research. So we will start straight away from 2:30 p.m. now. And in between, I just want to highlight few important points for all the respected delegates who are joining today. Please post your question in the chat box. And we have our dedicated moderator today. The dedicated moderator will post all those questions to us, and then we will ask the respective speaker during his or her presentation. And please be specific on the topic which will be delivered by the speaker. And as we are talking about 2:30 p.m., so we have another 10 minutes time. Take your time, have a comfort sitting, because it will be a long session. I think up to 7 we will have different speakers. We have our panel discussion. We are missing Professor Santanu Kumar Tripathi here in this welcome address because there is some NMC visit is ongoing in his institution. So Professor Santanu Kumar Tripathi, we all know he is a doyen in the field of clinical pharmacology. Currently, sir is the principal at James Medical College, Boj, and sir is the president of Association of Clinical Pharmacologists. We are really proud today that ACP, the Association of Clinical Pharmacologists, also is one of the partner of this event of International Clinical Trial Day celebration. So we will have hopefully Professor Tripathi during our panel discussion session. So in between, we have talks from Professor Aparna Mukherjee first, and then we'll have a lecture by Dr. Shashank Joshi, who will discuss about clinical pearls for mega diabetes trials, what clinicians should know. Then we'll have a talk by Dr. Melvin George. Dr. Melvin George, currently the head at the Center for Clinical Pharmacology at SRM Medical College, Hospital and Research Center, Chennai. Dr. George is also the General Secretary of Association of Clinical Pharmacologists. He will deliver the lecture on From Innovation to Implementation, Clinical Trials of Medical Devices under Indian Regulation. Then we'll have one doctor who is also an artificial intelligence expert, Dr. Santosh Dixit. Dr. Santosh Dixit is currently Chief Domain Expert at Healthcare and Life Sciences Innovation Labs, Persistent Systems, Pune. He will deliver his lecture on smarter trials with artificial intelligence, accelerating discovery, protecting trust. Next, we will have our transferred session, that is from the first to that position, by Dr. Shobbosha Chishen, who is a professor of medicine at GW School of Medicine and Health Sciences, Washington, D.C., USA. He had a prolific research career in the field of stem cell and regenerative science. So he will tell us about stem cells, endothelium, and cardiovascular disease, translating regenerative research into clinical impact. Then after that, we'll have Dr. Prasoon Chatterjee, who is a professor of geriatric medicine at AIIMS, New Delhi. He will tell us about a very important and neglected topic, that is designing inclusive clinical trials for older adults. Innovations, ethics, and evidences. We all know that one of the very important population, that is geriatric population, they are clinical trial orphan. So how we should design inclusive clinical trials for geriatric population, we'll learn from Dr. Prasoon Chatterjee. Then we'll have an important panel discussion. The topic is the future of clinical trials in India, integrating innovation, inclusivity, and ethical rigor. We'll have esteemed panelists with us today, Professor Nandini Kumar, Professor Santanu Kumar Tripathi, Professor Srinivasa Murthy, then Dr. Santosh Taur, Dr. Priyanka Bosh Bhattacharya, Dr. Anirban Rai Chaudhary. So we'll have this panel discussion. I shall be moderating the panel. So after that, we'll have the valedictory address and take-home messages, and we will be privileged to have with us during that time Dr. B. Kalakumar, General Secretary of Indian Pharmacological Society, and Dr. Ashish Shaha, Professor Ashish Shaha, General Secretary of Association of Physicians of India, West Bengal branch. So with that, we are going to start today's event, academic event, by another 10 minutes of time. It will be started dot on 2:30 p.m. And I request you all to be with us. We'll start our scientific processing soon.